Okay, so I just got back from getting coffee downstairs, back there actually, and my neighbor in the office next door said, Russell, what is the best Medicare supplement plan? And I said, well, that depends. It's kind of like saying, what's the best car? It's really, what is the best Medicare supplement plan for you? Now, I'll go over what the best choices are, and then we'll narrow it down and help you decide what the best Medicare supplement plan is for you. So if you've gotten this far and you're asking, what is the best Medicare supplement plan? Well, then you know what they do. They help pay the gaps and the coinsurance of Medicare Part A and B. The gaps are expenses that you have to pay. See all of my other videos, and your questions will be answered if you do have them for those topics. Now, what is the best Medicare supplement plan? Well, that depends on a number of factors and really what is defined as best as it pertains to your own personal situation. In fact, a good agent or a good salesperson in any area, it does not matter what it is, should ask you questions first about your own personal situation to find out what the best is for you. Not everything's the same. If I go to Best Buy and I want to buy a stereo, if I'm talking to the salesperson and they immediately bring me to a product and say, this is the one you want, I run for the hills, as I like to say, because they don't know anything about me. Why should that particular product at that price be the best for me when they don't even know anything about me? So now on the flip side, as my clients of the last 11 years will tell you, and we have thousands of them, I like to make things easy. You'll notice that in my other videos. Medicare doesn't have to be confusing, and when it comes to finding the best plan for you, that isn't that hard. However, there are a few steps you still need to take rather than just putting somebody on a plan. So Medicare has a number of options. As you've probably seen, the Medicare Supplement Plan letters alone, there are 10 of them. Most of them make no sense. Trust me, you don't want to go on most of them. I can explain why if you want to give me a call. The most popular Medicare supplement plans are now Plan G and Plan N. Plan F is also a popular Medicare supplement plan and was for years the most popular because it covers 100% of the gaps in Medicare. However, only people who are on Medicare January 1st of 2020 and before even have a Plan F. If you just became eligible for Medicare on that date or later, you cannot enroll in a Plan F. Medicare shut that plan down for new beneficiaries. But if you still have a Plan F, well, that's okay too, and you're dying to keep it, I typically try to encourage people, look at Plan G. You'll save a ton of money, and your rate increases will be lower than what they are in Plan F. However, if you'd like to keep it, keep in mind, you can still switch to another company's Plan F if they have a lower rate and save money. Now, to switch companies, a lot of people always ask me, I'm going to be doing an entire separate video on this. Can you switch companies? Yes, you simply have to answer questions on the new company's application, and those are medical questions. You'll have to go through what's called medical underwriting. But I absolutely love when I get people on the phone who have a Plan F because it's all good news from there if they can qualify and go down to a Plan G. The amount of savings is incredible. That's one of my favorite parts of this job, saving people tons of money. So if you've got a Plan F and you like to shop the rates, whether it's to another Plan F, which I'll let you slide if you do, I understand, or check out that Plan G, just give me a call. My name is Russell Noga, by the way, with Medisupps.com, which I started 11 years ago. And now with my top agent, Diana Firth, who's one of the best in the country, we've been helping seniors for a combined 18 years of experience with saving money on their Medicare supplement plan. So if you do have that Plan F, give me a call now. We can shop the rates for that or Plan G and see how much you can save. So let's talk about you folks without a Plan F. Say you got a Plan G now and you've been on Medicare. Well, you're doing great. Now, is that the best plan for you? Maybe not. The two most popular plans and the most plans that we write are Medicare Supplement Plan G and Medicare Supplement Plan N. So I'll cover the benefits of both, and then we can match it up to your own situation, and I'll give some examples to see if that is the best option for you. Now, Plan G is great. It is fantastic. The most popular plan out there for good reason. Again, like I mentioned before, with Plan G, you've got one small deductible. In 2020, that's $198. Once that's paid, it's 100% coverage for the rest of the year. Let me explain the deductible quickly. You pay the first $198 of your medical bills. Again, you write that check, put it in the mail, get all that savings. After that, you get 100% coverage for the rest of the year. Now, what I mean by that is it's an annual deductible. This is the Medicare Part B deductible that you pay once per year. Prior to Medicare paying any of your bills, somebody's got to pay the Part B deductible. And Part B, again, is your doctor's services. Hopefully, you'll just be using that. Part A is hospitalization. Once you pay the deductible, it's 100% coverage again for the rest of the year. It's an annual deductible, so it resets in January. So a lot of people, a lot of clients will save up and maybe you enroll late in the year and then you start using their coverage on January 1st because that deductible, once you pay it, is good for the rest of the year. Now, I'm not recommending this at all. I want to stress the fact that a lot of people think once that deductible is paid, it's paid forever. It is a calendar year deductible. Use your coverage if you need it. If you get sick or need it, go, because you still have some of the best coverage you'll ever have in your life. So next we'll cover Plan N and how it's slightly different than Plan G. They're actually pretty similar. Now, Plan N has lower premiums than Plan G. Now, in exchange for lower premiums, you're not quite getting the same coverage. There are a few other things that could come up that would be out-of-pocket expenses for you. One of those is a copay per doctor's visit. Now, with Plan N, you still pay the same Part B deductible that you do on Plan G. Remember, that's a Medicare deductible. It's got nothing to do with the supplement plans and the letters. Once you pay that deductible, you might have a small copay if you go back to the doctor that year, but it will never be more than $20 per visit. That includes a specialist visit. However, it just depends on how they code it. It's kind of one of those mysteries. You go and you don't know. And you'll get billed for the copay. You don't pay it at the office. However, it will never be more than $20. It could be less, and it could be no copay. I've got my own mom on Plan N, and she's never seen a copay in like 6 years, which is great. I'm not guaranteeing you won't, so don't hold me to that. However, I can guarantee a copay on Plan N will never be more than $20. Now, one other thing that could come up on Plan N is if you visit the emergency room and you're not admitted, there'll be a $50 copay. Now, why does this happen? Doesn't happen on Plan G. Well, when Medicare developed this plan, they said too many people go to the emergency room for things that aren't emergencies, and that drives up costs. The $50 is them saying, hey, you can come on in, but if it's not serious and you go home, we're going to charge you the $50 copay. Now, go to the emergency room if you feel you have to. Because if you go and you have a Plan N and they check you out and they say, okay, you're going to go home, it's $50 copay, that means you go home and you're healthy. It wasn't serious enough to stay there. That's a great thing. So that's why that exists. Now, one more thing on Plan N that can happen, very rare. So rare, in 11 years and thousands of clients, I've never had one ever get one of these. It's called a Part B excess charge. Why it's rare is because 96 to 97% of the doctors in this country, it's estimated, take what's called the assigned rates for Medicare, meaning that's what they charge. What Medicare says, they do. Chances are your doctor does that. If you find a doctor who doesn't, again, the percentage is not very high, but they're out there, they can charge up to 15% extra on medical bills, or what Medicare allows. You would be charged a percentage of that because they get charged with a small penalty. So rare, I've never seen it ever happen. Could happen. However, I would not let that bother you. Plan N is one of the best plans out there. Now, one other thing with Plan N over Plan G is it has lower rate increases every year. The reason being, there aren't as many people in Plan N as Plan G. Plan G is easy, 100% coverage after you pay a deductible. Because of those other cost-sharing options, people use the coverage more responsibly. I won't get into the big formula when it comes to a percentage of the premium going to claims. However, using the plan more responsibly equates in lower premiums as well as lower rate increases. So you're saying, that's great, Russell. Now we know what each plan covers, but you still haven't answered our question. What's the best Medicare supplement plan? Well, let me break it down to you, maybe in reverse. If you just want one small expense each year and then the rest of your bills paid, Plan G. And the premiums are higher than Plan N. However, you won't have those copays. Another reason for people who Plan G might be the best option, let's say you do go to the doctor frequently. Maybe you've got a condition that you go once a month. Well, the copays might add up on that. And therefore, Plan G might be a better option if you have that going on. Now, jumping over to Plan N. Plan N is great for people who are healthy. I get clients who say, I never go to the doctor. Some say I haven't been to the doctor in years, which is great because I know they're healthy. I know these people. In that case, we got them on Plan N because they're smart enough to know, look, I'm not invincible. Something could happen, and I need to have that in place. But I don't want to be paying these high premiums all the way. Because in reality, the Plan N is not that expensive in premiums. But should something go wrong, a major medical condition, you're not going to have that many out-of-pocket costs. $20 copay, it would take a lot of doctor visits for that to not be a good deal. So with Plan N, another great situation for people on Plan N is if you're coming off a Medicare Advantage plan. Let's say you're used to lower premiums and maybe a few out-of-pocket expenses, but you want to go back to original Medicare, and the reason most people do is because no network with Medicare and a Medicare supplement. You can use it nationwide, and you don't have to look up if a doctor's in your network or a specialist. And when it comes to the specialist, if you're coming off a Medicare Advantage plan, you know you had to get a referral and they had to be in your network. Those days are gone. With a Medicare supplement plan, you call up a doctor and say, do you take Medicare? And they could be anywhere. I have hundreds of clients, and I'm jealous, who are RVers. In fact, if you're watching from the road right now, hello from Bend, Oregon. Come on by. These RVers are never in a quote-unquote network. They're never in the same place for 2 months. So they get a Medicare supplement plan. They have a flexibility of using it anywhere in the country. Now, there's one more factor that comes into play when choosing the best Medicare supplement plan for you, and that's price. Now, Plan N and Plan G, in some areas, are pretty close in premiums. In other areas, I just ran a quote before I made this video, $30 difference. $30 a month, and she was super healthy. We went Plan N all the way. So the easiest way to find out that and what the best Medicare supplement plan is for you, just give us a call. You can talk to myself or the best agent in the country, Diana Firth. She's been with me for years now. She's put up with me and all my hijinks, but she's fantastic. Either way, you're taken care of. Give us a call today at 1-888-891-0229. We'll find the best Medicare supplement plan for you, match it up to your current situation, and take care of you now as well as years to come. Thanks for watching. We look forward to speaking with you.